It's unconscionable that illegal aliens have CDLs and driving 18-wheelers across our nation. Just because some sanctuary cities want to gamble with motorist lives and let these dangerous people on the roads driving dangerous vehicles.
As the Trump administration plans a crackdown on CDLs being issued to illegal aliens, Republican lawmakers are stepping up as well, pushing for stricter requirements and a universal English proficiency test for anyone who wants to get behind the steering wheel, of one of those big rigs. Let's bring in the Homeland Security Secretary, Noem, now, who's just given an update on Midway Blitz. And if I could just sort of encapsulate this, Madam Secretary, this Midway Blitz operation at the Indiana-Illinois border nabbed 223 illegal aliens, including 146 truck drivers. 40 drivers had been issued commercial driver's licenses, mostly from California, as well as New York and Illinois. What more can you tell us?
You know, it's really incredible. What has happened here is that we're really seeing and peeling back the onion on who is allowing these dangerous individuals to get on our roads and get behind 18-wheelers that turn into weapons when they don't know how to use them, they don't know how to operate them, and they can't speak our language or interpret our laws. So many of these sanctuary states are handing out driver's license. In fact, as a part of Midway Blitz, we saw over a dozen different states hand out driver's licenses that then allowed these individuals to go get commercial driver's licenses and go out and get onto our roadways. And we're stopping that. We're starting to vet individuals. We're starting to stop individuals. And when we do enforcement action on their driving records or on their trucks to make sure that they're legal, we're allowing our partnerships with these states, such as Indiana, which is where we're focused today, to do immigration enforcement as well, making sure that those individuals who shouldn't be in our country are brought to justice and they're removed from our country too.
Madam Secretary, Sandra here in New York. It's amazing to think that Secretary Duffy had to announce earlier this month that he would withhold millions in federal funding from California because they refused to comply with rules requiring these truck drivers to be proficient in the English language. How have we gotten here?
We got here because we had someone in the White House who didn't care about our laws and who put people from other countries above American citizens and then invited criminals and terrorists to come in and to take over our communities. So I'm so thankful that we have President Trump in the White House who said, our Constitution matters, American citizens will be put first, and we're going to enforce our laws. And our partnerships that we've been able to build with governors like Governor Braun here in Indiana have been absolutely remarkable. Just in this short operation, we've arrested over 223 individuals who are illegal aliens in this country. 46 of them were driving 18-wheelers that didn't have an understanding of how to operate them safely or how to make sure that they weren't going to harm any family that was traveling the roadway with them. And we had many, many more of them, dozens more that were driving moving vehicles, box trucks, they were driving buses. I think everybody who goes out on a road trip wants to know that those who are sharing the road with them know what they're doing and that they will follow our laws and that they actually care about protecting people at the long run.
Madam Secretary, as you've been talking, we've been showing footage from that horrific accident that happened just recently in California, where that big rig truck driver who allegedly was under the influence of drugs just ran through 3 vehicles before slamming into the back of another big wheeler. Here's what Gavin Newsom has said about all of this. He said, quote, lost in the immigrant bashing is the fact that drivers holding California-issued CDL are involved in fatal crashes at a rate far lower than the national average. If the focus were on safety, California should be a poster child, not a scapegoat. What's your response?
You know, he should be looking at this situation and saying, you know what, I'm going to do what I can to protect as many people as I can and save lives and change what I'm doing. He is handing out driver's licenses to people with no documentation. Some of these individuals aren't even giving a name. We found driver's licenses as a part of this operation and one that's in Oklahoma that have said no name given on the driver's license. They then went and used to get a commercial driver's license to get behind these trucks. So Governor Newsom needs to understand that saving lives is the #1 priority, and anything he can do as a governor to protect that is extremely important.
Okay, sounds like we've got some activity flying overhead. While that's happening, Madam Secretary, I want to play out some sound from the Illinois governor, Pritzker, who mentioned you by name, and is saying that in the city of Chicago, where ICE continues to carry out these arrests, and ICE officers, by the way, continue to be targets of those on the left, Pritzker is making the case that the ICE agents on the ground are going after legal citizens, longtime Chicago residents. Here he is taking you on. Listen.
Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Kristi Noem have said they want to target the worst of the worst. They have not done that. They're attacking peaceful neighborhoods and terrorizing kids in Halloween parades.
Madam Secretary, care to respond to the governor?
He's just not telling the truth. He's lying, and it's hard to fight constant lies and attacks from this governor, but we will constantly stand up for the truth and for those people that live in those neighborhoods who want peace, they want safety, and they want these criminals out. Every day we're on the streets of Chicago arresting people who have committed murders, rapists, those who are trafficking drugs and have been victimizing that city for years. We finally have a president in the White House who wants to make this a safe environment for every single American citizen. And no matter what Governor Pritzker says, we're going to do our job. We're going to protect the people of Chicago. We're going to do our operations, and we're going to defend our laws, because that's what America is about. This isn't about him. It's not about me, and it's not about President Trump. President Trump gets up every single day and recognizes that the fight that he's having today is for our next generation of Americans. It's for our kids. It's for our grandkids. What we do today is going to have a ripple effect for them, and that's why we show up and make sure that we're enforcing our laws, because they matter. And if Governor Pritzker doesn't like them, he can go change them. He can go be an advocate and convince people that he's right. He doesn't do that. Instead, he goes on TV and attacks people, and that certainly is not going to get him the results that he's hoping for, which is more power in a bigger office someday. He's focused on himself. Every day we get up and just fight for the American people.
And in doing so, it seems that ICE agents, CBP agents are increasingly under threat. We saw the violence in Dallas and elsewhere. And now we get a statistic from DHS that death threats against ICE operatives are up 8,000%. And listen to what the Chicago Mayor, Brandon Johnson, said about your commander there in Chicago, Gregory Bovino. Listen here.
Bovino is a barbaric individual.
He did call me that word barbaric, and that is what we're talking about with the heated rhetoric that causes violence against law enforcement officers. What about the legal, ethical, and moral duties that we conduct every day on the streets of Chicago to make his city safer? Is that barbaric?
When you've got things like the Chicago mayor calling your commander there barbaric, when you've got J.B. Pritzker referring to ICE as, quote, Noem's thugs, are you surprised to see violence and death threats going up against these agents?
No, I'm not. These leaders are perpetuating that violence. They're encouraging it. They're pushing people to violence by the way that they talk. Greg Bovino is a patriot. He's a great American. He took an oath to uphold the law, and he does it every single day. And I'm so thankful for the way that he inspires people. He inspires thousands of other law enforcement officers to go out and to do their jobs and to do it boldly, and to know that they've got a constitution and they've got a president that will have their backs if they make sure that they're bringing criminals to justice. So by what Mayor Johnson's doing, by what Governor Pritzker is doing, it's endangering lives, and they need to stop. They need to stop because there's consequences to it. Their words have consequences, and we're seeing that. An 8,000% increase in death threats against law enforcement. That's horrific. That shouldn't be happening in America. That shouldn't happen anywhere in the world, and I blame them. I place the blame squarely on their shoulders.
Madam Secretary, quick final question following up on Chicago, because I know that there are a lot of Chicagoans talking about this right now, because there is a lot of ICE activity, obviously, in that city, and you are making the case, obviously, rightly so. But the governor has asked you specifically to pause immigration enforcement operations in that city. So he says that kids can safely celebrate Halloween. Do you have any plans to alter activity tomorrow on that day?
No, we're going to be out on the streets in full force and increase our activities to make sure kids are safe. Every day in Chicago, we're arresting murderers, child pedophiles, those who have perpetuated assault and pornography against children. We're going to be out there to make sure that they can be safe, enjoy the holidays, spend some time with their families and their neighbors and their communities, and they don't have to be the victim of a crime because of these illegal aliens that are in our country victimizing them.
Madam Secretary, good to catch up with you. Thank you for taking the time this afternoon.
Thank
I know
you
it's been a
very
busy
much.
day for
You
you.
too.
All right, we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. You too.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.